if you do not make some jokes as you MC, I will get mad and leave. So you got to make us
I
laugh while
will.
you MC.
Dude, your
I
face is a
will.
big enough joke. I don't need to make any others.
Oh,
There we
man.
go.
Hey.
Starting off good now. So if you can carry that spice throughout the time, I'm game.
I will clarify before we begin. Some
Yeah.
of these answers, like some of these questions, I can answer multiple questions at the same time. So some of them towards me, I will clarify if I can answer multiple, so you can skip them later.
Sure. I'm happy to do
Some
that.
of them are all linked together, which will save time.
All right, well, let's get into the wind up of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight with the Misfits. And can I just say, I enjoyed Egg's heartfelt remembrance of us all as he was plummeting towards the ground. That's not a question. That's just an appreciation.
That was genuinely a moment I didn't expect.
It was really lovely. I really enjoyed it.
It was nice.
Didn't enjoy that he was dying because I actually thought he wasn't going to make it at all. So I did enjoy that.
If Egg died that way, that would have been the coolest shit in the world. He goes just slide. He just cuts the head off and just falls to his death in a fucking lake.
It would have been an epic death.
That's a hero's death.
Fun fact, I don't know if any of you have rewatched the live action Alice in Wonderland movie recently, but shot for shot, that is how she kills the Jabberwock. I literally watched it that day. And was like, how is he going to kill this Jabberwock? That was a cool moment.
That'll work.
Let's do that.
I'm just going to take that. Thank you. Add that
all right.
bag.
So getting into the questions, the first one was from Lily, which was for you, Jay, and it's how do you come up with all of your voices?
I had two answers to this. The first one is I open my mouth and see what comes out, genuinely. The other one is I walk around the house a lot, as Lily knows, practicing random dumb voices just in case I ever need them. My voice work is very bad, though. My voice work is very bad. I used to do a lot of improv, and I used to take acting classes. And part of the acting classes I took was we used to have like this I don't know, they were basically an accent expert who'd come in. I was never any good at it, but that was my favorite part of the class, so that was fun. But yeah, just dumb luck. I open my voice and I open my mouth and see what comes out and hope I can replicate it later.
So you telling me the voice of AJ was just pure luck?
Pretty much, yeah.
We rolled the dice. We rolled a 20 that day, boys.
The if any of you caught Jay's stream today, he was giving Mike Myers in Dead by Daylight the AJ voice, and that's where I opened his stream up. I'm like, man, I can't. You can't. That's not how I need to start my afternoon.
You can't steal my cake away from me.
My job was to murder them, and they kept running away from me. It was so rude.
I can't. I just
next campaign, his character's gonna have that voice.
That's just gonna be the voice.
Seriously considered it.
So,
I have.
The next one's probably got a multi-part answer. I'm not sure, but it was from me, and it was curious, Jay. What major or minor story hooks did we miss? Because you did mention throughout that there were several that things could have gone, or that we just were too dumb to pick up on.
So there was a lot of stuff in the Witchlight Carnival in particular that you guys didn't get a setup for. There was one elf who I think you guys did. You passed by him, and I definitely described him, but you guys didn't really interact with. And he was this like elven guy who was all dressed up with the wings and that, and he had like no color to his outfit, aren't the others? And he was a mime. And he basically had his voice stolen by someone, and like there was a whole quest line where like you could sort of befriend him, and then when you went into the thing, you could basically get him his voice back, and that would give you like advantage on charisma checks for like the next couple of days, sort of thing. There was a bunch, pretty much everything in Yon, because with Dynasty changing its schedule and everything sort of being topsy-turvy, I sort of wanted to try to get to the end. So there was a lot in Yon you guys sort of skipped. That mine section where you first landed, where you met Molliver, was meant to be a whole dungeon crawl there that would have taken 2 or 3 sessions. There was a section I really wanted to do, which is probably the main thing you missed, which was in Yon, there was a theater run by the hag there, like Enderlin, and you could, as part of that adventure, end up trying to win favor with several NPCs and get an audience with Enderlin in order to basically behead her, as you guys had every other hag. And you would have to participate in this play. So before the play starts, you would each be given 3 or 4 lines
Barbara
that you
Seville?
must include, and then you would have to basically ad-lib and improv your parts through this improv play with like 3 or 4 lines that you must include somewhere. But that was kind of difficult to do without being in person. Like, it'd require a lot of messaging back and forwards, and so I kind of had to scrap that, which sucks, but that would have been really fun, I think. Otherwise, it's just
D&D,
minor
thank
stuff.
God you were here.
Little things with like Ogden being eaten, because I just thought that was a funny one-off gag. I was kind of by the time you guys got there, I was also annoyed at how I'd portrayed Ogden and wanted to kill him myself. So I was like, yeah, fucking get rid of this guy.
He gave me so much shit about that, and then you had to bring him back up again with his head on a spike with next to Clapperclaw. Like, oh fuck me! Oh, he fished the head out of the river with Clapperclaw.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
The bridge of speaking
Jesus.
heads, that was fun. So yeah, you guys,
Yeah, we
some
all
minor
blame
stuff.
Spar.
But yeah.
Lily's just added a question in chat that how much of what you were doing was improv.
Fuck you, Lily. So Lily knows this better than anyone, and that is that I am a person who will sit down and read the entire book. I will take detailed notes on it. I will have everything ready, and then the moment the session starts, all of those notes basically go out the window for whatever I think is most fun at the time. I had no notes our first session. The entire first 2 sessions were improv, because all I knew about your characters, because I hadn't known you guys that long, was your names, your races, your classes, your backgrounds, and what your curses were. That is all the information I had. I had a little bit, like, I had your backgrounds, but your backgrounds, I was like, I cannot tie these in anywhere. So because I didn't know you guys, I was just like, let's just see what we come up with. But a lot of what I do was just, I looked at what was in the book. I was like, that's no fun. That's boring. So I'd say about half of what we went through was me just doing my best to figure it out as I went along, which was.
It seems like though that there's have to be parts of it where I'm sure it comes up in later questions, made decisions that you would not anticipate for various reasons that you then had to improv responses to.
If it's okay, can I jump to a later question from someone?
Yeah, of course. Just let me know which one so I can cross it off.
Where is it? It's right down the bottom somewhere. Let me just quickly.
While you do that, I'm going to answer a separate question in chat. So Baked, I've felt like I am doing teacher lesson prep in getting ready for my campaign, and I anticipate that it's going to be just like teacher lesson prep, that once the lesson starts, some of it'll work the way that it was intended to, and the rest of it,
I've stuck up for you. There's an adjustment.
You just use your preparation and adjust as required.
We're just
but
adapting to what we see in front of us.
You appreciate the preparation that you did.
Hey, Sparrow, what's the fog? Yeah. Can you explain to me about it? Go into depth about it.
That was the last campaign. You can.
Sorry, it still makes me cringe when I had to explain fog for 10 minutes.
Only if you explain the metric system.
You didn't have to.
I'm not going to explain the metric system. I don't deal with Imperial.
I had questions that I thought that the fog was important to the storyline and is not relevant to this campaign. One shot did not get an epilogue. Fog.
So I found it. So it's a question from Dynasty. It's actually just underneath the "Can you explain fog to luggage one more time?" And it's the "What action did the Tejas Plague that blindsided you the most?" This is the one I was just chatting about.
Yeah.
And that is, I love the idea of randomly giving my players too much power. And the moment I realized I could never do that with you guys again was very early on. It was your first time at the end of the road, right? And I basically spent like about 30 minutes that day writing up an A4 list of just one-line descriptions of some interesting characters I could stick in the inn. So I could just throw them in there. And I think when you guys went to the inn, there was you guys, there was the Bullywugs, there was the Hobgoblins that you'd seen on stilts the previous day, and there was the Rakshasa, who you spotted. Now, the Rakshasa on my thing was just a Rakshasa. I had no notes on him. He had no backstory. he was just meant to be a one-off. Oh, that's a cool creature you normally wouldn't see in a normal D&D campaign, just chilling.
At what point in that did you decide that he was going to fucking end Rennick?
In that moment, though, I decided to give, if you remember, one of you the power. I described these people coming in, and I let Dynasty choose who came in next. Just describe a person, and most people usually describe a one-off NPC.
What's going on behind you?
What the fuck are you doing?
You shouldn't have said anything, bro.
Was that Nomi? I couldn't see super clearly. I know.
I was saying, no, I saw that and went, is that behind me? No, that's not me. Right, okay, good.
Should have let him get her.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I
looked at my camera and all I seen was this arm. Yes.
Anyway, back to the made-up Rakshasa. The Dynasty had the opportunity to describe who came in next.
Well, yeah, and then he said, which genuinely blindsided me, because the only real antagonist you guys had been given at that point was Ogden Longscarf. You've been told he was basically a bandit king. He was very powerful. So, of course, the last fucking person I expected him to pick was basically your current, the only major villain you'd met. So, of course, that's exactly who Dynasty says walks in. So my brain went into panic mode and went, what the fuck's he doing here? What's he doing here? I was like, he can't be here for the players, because if he is, that's going to lead to a fight, and they're all going to fucking die. This guy's going to one-shot all of them, and that's going to be it. Okay, well, he's not here for the bullywucks. He can't be here. Like, I guess he's here for the Rakshasa. And then that Rakshasa became a way more important member of this campaign. That fucking
Up until
Rakshasa.
then, he had no bearing in
Yeah, you're telling me that Rakshasa.
So he was just a random.
Good.
He was just
Made
a
me sweat
random
all
bit
the
of
time.
scenery. He was just there
Basically,
for,
yeah.
for
Like, if you
scenery.
guys wanted to interact with him,
Texture.
if you guys wanted to interact with him, that was cool. You know, like, you recognized that Rennick was, like, you know, more of, like, the shady kind of character, you know, like, with his daggers and all that. So, like, he saw the reason that the Rakshasa clocked Rennick there was because the Rakshasa was like, this looks like a guy who's going to steal from me. The Rakshasa clocked him, was like, that like, if Rennick's a rogue. He was like, this guy, if there's a member of that group who's shady, it's that guy. I'm going to keep an eye on that guy. So anytime Rennick looked over there and he clocked the Rakshasa looking at him, it looked way more sus than it actually was.
You know what's funny? Throughout the entire campaign, I don't think I stole from anybody.
You did not know.
No,
Like
you,
the-
oh,
Oh,
the
bad
watch,
bad,
the pocket
bad.
watch.
Well,
Should've
I
wrote.
mean,
you stole
No,
our
you stole the
hearts
pocket watch. Oh, you
Stole my
our
heart.
But you stole the pocket watch
when you
from
got
the,
naked and wrestled dwarves, goblins.
Oh yeah.
and the pocket watch that got us.
I don't-
Remember the two guys from the carnival, the two leaders. He picked the pocket and got
He
the
did, yeah.
fob watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he did. Yes, you
I
did.
forgot
That's right.
about that.
To basically blackmail them.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we thought
Yeah.
they were evil.
we did.
We thought they were
I
evil
honestly,
people.
I didn't think the campaign went past the circus.
Yeah,
I
I
did
thought
not
we were just
realize,
trying to
like,
dethrone
from
those
session
guys.
0 and stuff, and the way it was very clever setup, by the way. I thought the Witchlight Carnival was what we were trying to solve, and getting that stuff back and freeing the people that seemed to be subjected.
No.
Yeah, that took a big turn. Wait,
So,
what?
so
That
the
blew my
whole
mind.
the whole thing with the carnival is that there's a very long backstory in D&D about the carnival. Like, they're not the original owners. Basically, they're from the Shadowfell, and they led another circus that was basically like miserable and downtrodden, and they basically ended up trading the two Fae who owned this carnival. And so, like, you end up with two creatures who come from the opposite of the Feywild controlling a Feywild carnival. So yeah, shit goes bad real quick. And then they ended up, like, being controlled by the hags through, like, a series of events. And yeah. But yeah, I wanted to let you guys know that there'd be some Feywild stuff, but I did definitely try my best to make sure you guys were not fully clued in on, hey, this is going to be a Feywild adventure. The carnival's just the prologue, baby.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. From Lily for DM for Jay, how many notes did you have to throw out the window?
Actually, I don't have my notebook. I do have my notebook.
Just rips out all the pages.
So
all
this
these.
is my main notebook. I have 2 for every campaign. This is the one that I take notes in as we're going. All of this was useless to me the next session. The empty one. Genuinely, you guys were wild cards in my eyes. I didn't know what you do session to session.
Neither did we.
Neither did we. I woke up and went, okay, D&D time, boys, crack knuckles, and let's sit down.
No, this
Time to put the
this story-
explosives in the coffee.
So this story is meant to be kind of like a sandboxy adventure. Like you're given an area, there's only 3 or 4 locations you can visit, and like it's the kind of thing where it's like, cool, you go to an area, you guys visit each location, you fight the boss, you move on, sort of thing. Like it's not like I gave you guys an entire world and was like, what do you want to do? There was a very clear A to B to C to D to E sort of story points that you guys like knew you almost had to hit. Like you knew you had to, find the hag, stop the hag, find the guide, get to the next area, find the hag, stop the hag, find the unicorns, find the alicorn. You guys basically knew the points of the story you would have to hit because you've all read a book or seen a movie. So it was very easy to kind of keep you guys not on rails, but sort of just constantly moving towards the next objective, whatever that objective was in your eyes, whatever it was. But yeah, you guys... my notes were pretty much useless to me. Not for a bad reason. You guys are genuinely amazing players, so you were very good at sort of keeping yourselves going. I at no point had to like go back through my notes to find an important NPC or something who could push you guys to the next
we
thing.
brought them all with us.
Yeah, that...
Come on, buddy.
Yeah, actually, that's a question that's not on here. How many NPCs you had to stop us from taking with us? Because we uprooted a lot of lives.
There's a reason that I killed Winterbow the Centaur. There's a reason that there was no one in that owlbear carriage. Fun fact, if you'd managed to calm down that owlbear properly, he was an awoken owlbear. He had an intelligence of 10 and could speak common. There's a reason it was overly aggressive towards you. Because you could have taken that owlbear with you.
I tried.
All of the children that ended up in Little Oak after you saved them, after like the getaway gang got, and you guys saved the rest of the kids, all of them would have come with you if you asked, because you saved them all. Like you could have had just an army of kids if you wanted.
I'm sorry, I don't feel good about having an army of kids.
No, children of the corn can stay in the tree. Oh dear. This one's for snack. What was your favorite snack from Lily throughout the campaign?
That I personally, or the weed brownies?
1 second, grab it.
It just says favorite snack, or maybe both. What was your favorite one personally?
These are pretty good.
Oh, now come on.
I can't see what they are.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Oh, caramels. That's pretty good.
You were loving the shit out of those Monte Carlos you were pulling apart a few weeks ago.
I did enjoy those too.
I will say my favorite snack moment was the one that never got captured, which was the reverse Oreo, the reverse goanna. That will live in D&D lore forever.
That was good.
And
probably
so I'm
for
guessing
the best. It would have been like the cover art or something.
Dude, I would have had that on. It would have been my intro starting soon.
I mean, the worst.
Would have just been. It would have been an emote for sure. I would have found a way to make it an emote. There's another snack question. If you saw it, if you could only eat one snack on stream, what would it be? Snack?
Mini M&Ms.
Mini M&Ms.
It's a good snack.
Oh.
Good. That's a good D&D snack.
And I'm guessing the weed brownies were your favorite in-game snack. Is that fair? Yeah. Fucking stoner. Okay. Also from Lily, it says, who did the most murder? Which I think means which of us killed the most people.
I think that's between me and Spar, because I think we're the only ones that actually did killing.
So
see,
I
Snack
Tony.
because Snack killed all those scarecrows. She did like 7.
I
killed so many people with my fireballs.
So, I did do some research on this. I will clarify. Technically, it is Snack. Snack fucked some shit up. I also hold her accountable for Ogden Longscarf because she's the reason you captured him. So she gets that kill.
What? Not Spar?
In terms of like living, thinking creatures, because the scarecrows were basically just like animated scarecrows. They didn't have thoughts or feelings. They were like automatons. All of you were pretty even. You guys didn't kill that many like living, breathing creatures that weren't the hags. You guys are all on pretty even footing when it comes to kills. I think all of you killed at least 1 or 2 people, but that's pretty much it.
Well, I also didn't want to go murder hopo on you.
Yeah, you guys were very
Then we
much
brought some
not
back to
murder
life,
hopo.
like Tony.
Did
Yeah, you
Rick the
brought Tony.
Rakshasa like kill lots of people?
Oh yeah, we did revive
the
Tony.
Rakshasa.
Didn't we?
The amount of NPCs who you guys met, and then I was in my notes was like, and the Rakshasa's tracking them. That NPC's dead. That NPC's dead. That NPC's dead. Like pretty much everyone in the Bullywug camp is just gone. Like every Bullywug is like
Lots of sticks.
Well,
And trip
they just
hazard.
stopped tripping.
Tripping.
Yeah, lots of trip
How
hazards.
many were left from when that chick just went through as we were walking
I
through the camp
actually
and
have
she
a
was
question
just
for you
killing
guys.
them?
Did any of you guys notice that Morgott disappeared?
Shadow Lady? Is
No,
that
the
Morgott?
Bullywug.
Yeah.
The Bullywug lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
I thought she
didn't.
just
She
stayed
didn't
in
come with
her
us. Yeah, I just figured she didn't leave
No.
the Bullywug area.
Is
No,
that the
just
one we
with us.
let go from the prison?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
The one
The
who
boss
shaved the head.
from Elden Ring?
She a boss from Elden Ring.
That's Margit.
Oh, that's a good callback, Eggs.
I'm actually replaying Elden Ring at the moment. It's a good game. No, I forgot about her.
Oh, see, I just thought she was left
I-
back at the encampment.
No,
That she
it
didn't
got
she didn't
to a point.
traverse with us.
No, it got to a point where I had so many NPCs to track that at one point on one, like I had her on one page, I flicked the page, forgot to write her name down, and then she does not appear in any more of my notes because of that. I forgot to write her down once on my NPC list, and she was
Carry through
forgotten
area.
forever. So
Side quest.
Yeah.
she had a
Wait,
she had
guys, we had to go back to the campaign. We had to go find her.
It'll be the one shot.
guys, we can buy viewers.
Oh no, we can't. Just got banhammered. Okay.
That's all right.
so
I was about to do it. I was like, nah, no need.
Dante, I hope you had a
$5
chance to look
$5.
this up because I know you were spreadsheeting it. How many total
Oh,
names
okay. Is the
ended up
question
being
for me? Yeah.
used? Yeah, how many total names ended up being used for luggage?
Okay. So, full disclosure, I didn't like when I first started doing this. I didn't start a spreadsheet for like the first couple of episodes, but like I feel like I've got most of them. So, like 20, I think it's 21, 22.
I feel like we used a lot more than that. But then
21,
again, towards the end,
yeah.
we
I feel
stopped
like I used
talking
more,
about
but then
luggage.
like the first couple of episodes, I kind of missed.
Wasn't
Like, we
it
stopped
the
having to say
first
each
or
other's
second
names.
episode that in chat we listed all these names?
Maybe
There
but
was
then,
there were so
the
many.
transference of those names into, well, we listed names that we wanted to use as well that I didn't use all of, and then after a while, I just stopped.
Because I wanted to see the list too, because one of the questions
Oh,
is later
yeah, I
for
can
me is
do
what
that.
was the, or can you drop it in
Yeah,
the
I'll
in the
do
Discord?
that now.
Because I got asked what was my favorite name. Like, there were so many I don't remember. Like I
Gotcha.
remember there were ones that I had to have explained to me because I go, "What the fuck is that?"
What do you mean, my carbon-based
Which we
friend?
also called you Fanny Pack as well.
Yeah.
Fanny
Yeah,
Pack
I
was
think
pretty
that was
funny.
my
That,
favorite because I always
that
think
was
find
my
Fanny Pack's
that was my
funny.
one. If I had to answer one without seeing the list, Fanny Pack was pretty funny.
I mean, my favorite was calling you the organic Sherpa.
Yeah, I was just reading that one too. The organic sherbet's pretty cool.
All right, drop the list and I'll read through. I'll read them all out and I'll pick my favorite. So in the
Roger that.
meantime, so this is from Jay for all of us. I'm going to start with Egg because it hasn't had any come his way yet. So the question is, what is one thing about your characters you would change if we were to start it all over again?
And I'm going to clarify, you have to change something.
Yep.
If you have to change something,
Oh,
what are you changing?
Like, are you talking about personality trait or like just a
Anything.
backstory?
Backstory, race, class, whatever. What would you
Alright.
change?
Clarify when you get to yours. So Egg, what would you change?
This is the one I missed, so I didn't write it down. Oh wait, I'd give him a ranged option so he wouldn't have to teleport to attack the dragon. And then die.
Fair call.
Yeah.
Rennick, I'm just going along the from
I
right to
probably would have
left.
changed my stat orientation. Instead of my strength being my weakest, I probably would have done something, to make it a little bit more fun. Probably would put it into maybe my intelligence. So I could play stupid a little bit. But instead of doing the weak rogue, I don't know. That's probably that one, or maybe change my subclass. But I don't really what I would change it to because I quite literally love this iconic place when we played it.
Okay. And Snack?
Nothing.
You
No,
can't cop
Jason, you're
out.
allowed to say
You can't
nothing.
cop
No,
out.
like literally nothing.
What's he writing down?
He's getting ready to
I
kill you
will
in
not
Strahd
change
because you said
anything about
nothing.
my snack obsessed character because they're all true.
Your hair color. Just say you change your hair color.
Nah.
I'll take that.
Oh my God.
Fair enough. I think I'm not sure what Dante's doing. Oh no, he's back. Oh, he's got the
Sorry.
scroll.
Menu log.
I can't read that scroll.
Oh no, I
It's
posted
not
in the
Oh,
Discord.
because my internet's not good enough to read that as well as run the stream. It just pixelates. So what's one thing about your character you would change if we were to start
Me?
all over again and you have to have
Good
something you can't
question.
be Snack?
I think that like I'd want to not be a fighter. It seems
Yep.
really like one-dimensional. Like
So
I
you
can't
never
mistakenly
use
try and
acting
use more than
search
one
to-
spell slot because I have none. Like
it's one of those things. So I would like to. Sorry, luggage. You go.
Are you sure you want me to answer first?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Ranks actually took the one that I had that I didn't realize that what I did with my character stats, being the first character for a big campaign I'd made after doing it with a one shot, was I think it's called min-maxing. So I just looked at where do I want to have the biggest stats for that character and then where am I going to dump it? And I would have liked to have made it so that I didn't have stats that went negative. And that's my honest answer because I did find it really frustrating that there were like do those rolls and you're taking points off the friggin' roll or you're suffering a penalty because
Well,
I
we did
made so few points in like intelligence. It wasn't just intelligence. There was a couple of them where I
It's
was
like
getting
perception
negatives.
or
Oh, I thought we
And
did
so I
standard array.
found-
I thought we didn't roll.
No, sorry, we did. We did.
Correct.
I shouldn't have said roll. We did the standard array. We allocated the points, right? So
Yeah.
I did. Maybe I did do it
Did-
normally.
you
So did you all have
315s
ones
and
that
3/8s? Did you?
no, I
I
had lots
did
of
the
zeros. I think you
three-
and I
I
were
did
the
three,
least
like,
deceptive people in the group.
Yeah, I basically did it where I put the most points into the stats I wanted. So I maxed them out. And then there were several stats I had that luggage had that were negative. And it also I found impacted because the roles I realized that anytime I wanted to do something that was going to be so shithouse that it'd actually be to the detriment of the team, there were things like investigations, and I had to try and look at it a different way and try and use things that were strengths. And I did find a couple of those elements a little bit frustrating in terms of what my intention was in building the character and then the reality once actually using those stats.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the fun from D&D is also fucking up those rules because now you have to find a new way to get around that situation.
This
I don't mind
is
fucking up the rolls, but it's just I think doing it again, I would want to make it so that the stats were just that little bit more balanced and at least weren't negative.
so that's something that I don't like min-maxing. I hate it. I had a player in a group I used to play with a lot who refused to do anything but min-max, and it annoyed me because everyone else had played very well-rounded 3D well-written characters with very in-depth backstories, and they were great role players, and he just wanted the biggest numbers. And it took me
Yeah.
a very long time to get through to him that min-maxing is fine. I don't care about min-maxing as long as it makes sense for your character. If your backstory fits with the min-maxing you're doing, fine by me. I wish I could have known you guys just a week, even just a couple of weeks longer, so I could talk to Spire a bit more about D&D. I do. I feel really bad about some of the confusing aspects that you had
Yeah.
there.
I didn't explain it too well to him.
It's not.
That's
it's
not
not
anyone's
hard to
fault but my
confuse
own.
Spark,
Having fun,
but, like,
It's really not.
It's
That's fair. That's not even a question. That's just a truth.
We're all here trying to be really polite, and Egg's just like, I ain't coddling.
Beans,
Nah, he's stupid.
No, it's an intricate game, and it's a lot.
There's a
at
lot of
times.
ways weird rules can work with each other.
Yeah,
I will say,
we-
just in response to
weaknesses
Egg,
can
that
be fun, but
I did
serious
get
stuff.
paid. I did get paid to hang out with Egg multiple days a week. So there's that.
And you're still one of his friends. We're just saying you're not being paid anymore.
There was a period in between where we both had to recover.
I feel that.
Bean has actually, I'm reading through. Okay, so the list, sorry, coming back to the names. So the names that Dante's recorded are suitcase, knapsack, duffel bag, carpet bag, handbag, haversack, attache
Carpet bag.
case, tote bag, parcel, rucksack, shopping bag, garment bag, organic Sherpa. That was a good one. Two-legged pack horse was another one that made me lol. Traveling bag, overnight case, didn't get used.
No.
Kit bag, carry-all, briefcase, carbon-based friend, that got used more than once.
Yes.
Wooden mobile safe, and Bean said she put one in chat that she really liked. That
Yeah,
was
well, that's
covered-
because
covered
there's a
on
bunch
wheels.
of names when we sort of listed ideas, but then
Yeah,
I kind of didn't think this through, and I didn't think we'd be going for like 9 months, and I'd have to come up with 9 months worth of fucking names to like not call
Yeah, I didn't
you
expect
like.
our campaign to go this long, and I was happy that it did.
Oh yeah, not complaining about that, but
I feel like
do I
that's
got to
kind
come
of
up
on
with
me.
like 9 months worth of alternate names
Like-
for luggage? Because that's not going to work.
So that's on me. I will apologize for not being like when you guys said, "Oh, we want a campaign." My first thought was, "Oh, so like multi-year arc." It wasn't until like 2 weeks in that I was like, "Oh, you guys were expecting something a lot shorter than what I've got in this book." I like looked at the book and was like, "This is gonna take it at least
well,
nearly a year." And I sort of looked up and was
Which
like,
I was
"Ah,
happy
shit."
with.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I would
I've
agree.
warmed into it. Like it's
It's just
cool.
you guys got to
pre-written
understand my,
ones
my
before.
job predicament right
I
now.
don't know how long they go for.
Yeah, but you're the only one that did egg, I think.
What was I
Yeah.
missed with the people talking? Sorry, what did you say? Egg?
I
Mm,
said
let's chop a bit.
I'd run ones from those books before, so I know sort of how long they go for.
You knew what we were in
Really?
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been in
But, like,
homebrews.
I will come back to my answer though. It's actually one that wasn't on your list. Fanny pack was right up there, but my favorite one was steam trunk. I just thought that was such a good
Steam trunk was
old-fashioned piratey term. I don't remember who said it. I don't remember if it was in chat or if it was obviously it wasn't on your spreadsheet list, but it may have been one of your early ones. But that steam trunk and fanny pack were my two favorite, with plenty of others I
It
like.
would have been from chat. I know that every name I said has not made it into that list or the overlay either.
We have one more question from Baked. He's asked a question for the group. Will these characters make a comeback in a future campaign?
I hope
No
so.
idea. That'd be pretty
No.
You're
cool.
already level 10. That's good, you know.
Well, I would happily play the character again. And
I'd happily
try
play
and
my
get
character
through to a
again.
higher level.
I like playing new people.
I'll
Something-
play it
He doesn't
again,
like
but I don't
Snack
want
and
to
Fairy.
play it
Some-
next.
Something I
Snack
do often
Fairy.
is I will often keep detailed enough notes on all of my previous player characters that I've had. So like if I'm running a campaign later on in the same world and I need like an experienced adventurer NPC for something, I can
Ah.
dig into those notes. So it is very possible your characters may appear as NPCs in future
Is
campaigns.
that where our
by
4
different
million-year-old
stuff.
dwarf came from?
I don't want to talk about that door. I don't want to, you know what? I don't want to talk about that whole damn castle.
That's all right.
But
that
I want to
castle
talk about
came
that
out of
castle.
nowhere, didn't it?
We'll get to that. So the next one was favorite fight from Lily, and I'll do the same thing again. I'll start with Egg and just move our way across. And Jay, I'm going to include you in this as well at the end. So favorite fight.
There are only about 8 fights in the whole campaign, I think, and so yeah, my favorite's gonna have to be me soloing the chapel.
Yep, that's mine as well. That's mine as well. I fucking loved every moment of that. I wasn't even a part of it. I was
Right.
like, this is sick. This is sick. I'm having a good time just being here.
Snack. What was your favorite fight?
My gobsmacker on all the scarecrows.
The flaming lolly
That was
from
cool.
space. That was good.
The flaming gobstopper.
Zenfire.
Look, when we fucked those rabbits up, that was pretty good. But you know, just to continue the bit all the
Doesn't
way
like
through, my
rabbits.
favorite fight has to be in the fairgrounds at the start when our lovable rogue got naked, greased up, and wrestled.
He didn't have to get greasy.
I
Didn't have to
even
get naked
naked
either,
as
but
I
you
got
know.
down to my skin.
It didn't stop him.
Oh, that
I
was
didn't even say I
so
got grease though. I
funny.
think that was a Dante thing. I was like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, look, you know.
Whether it was canon or not initially, it certainly became it
It is now.
afterwards. Mine was actually
You're not even
the
gonna give me for my Rush Sasuke fight.
no, dude. I was so frustrated you for following him. Like, oh no.
I wouldn't
This
call
is
what
gonna-
you did fighting.
Yeah, you braved the
At
At least
Robin
I
Hood.
know I'm the only character who could possibly kill him.
I will say that I did make me laugh when you were the like. I just was picturing you as a balloon on a string, tiger demon underneath you.
It's
I
very
did not
Cody,
expect them to turn
like,
so
making me hold
south on me, and I was
Oh,
panicking. I was
you know?
panic thinking so hard.
Dude. The it was written all over your face. It was clear. Mine was actually the Bavlorna one. That was my favorite fight, the Bavlorna's cottage fight. I really enjoyed just all the elements of it, and I know we just met AJ, but that wasn't really the carrying factor. It was just
Oh, dude, no, I was upside down,
all of the
stuck in a
parts.
bubble.
Yeah, that comes later. I've got that features in one of my other answers. But it was that aspect too, though, because there were so many elements and working parts that went on in there. It was a really fun, but also a bit of a more not super complicated, but there was a bit more to process and troubleshoot in that fight compared to some of the others that we really just brute forced or egg 1v1'd. So Jay, what was your favorite fight from the DM chair?
Man, it's so difficult because, like you said, that Bavlorna fight you guys did very well in. The problem I have with a lot of the later fights is after that Bavlorna fight, you guys learned very quickly that you were at your strongest if you just stay together. So it became very hard for me to I'm gonna split up the party before combat to make it a bit more fun, and you guys were just like, no, we're
Well, I got yelled at so hard for it, so
we're gonna stay
Stop
together.
it,
And
no.
we're all gonna
Stop,
hold
you get pissing off.
one of us
It's
is
the
gonna
rope
hold
thing.
the
You
hag
won't
down, and the
stand.
rest of us are gonna kick her. That's what.
Turns out when you portal jump through mirrors twice and wind up in a bloody crystal ball, you learn not to do dumb things.
If I had to pick one,
Boring.
I fucking love the Jabberwock fight. I do, but I was panicking so much because I knew that if that's a whole thing. But the first fight you guys properly got into, not the first one with the rabbits, the second one when you guys were on the dock plank walkway when you guys caught Argden. When you guys first saw each other really fight and Miss Snack cast fear, and you guys were just all like, oh, okay. And you like that whole thing of just being like, oh no, we have to fight these guys. She casts fear, half of them run away, and you guys were just like, oh shit. And then it ran out and they came back and she just cast it again. That was good. I liked that. It was just a very amusing image in my head. So I think very fondly of that fight. That's a very
Especially
fun
that it was this tiny little fairy that was scaring all these
This little
rabbits
fairy
away.
who's flying all between all four of us, just
I cast fear.
casting
Boom.
fear. Fireball, fireball, fireball.
I like this question, and I reckon I'd be surprised if we don't all have different answers to it. But it was from Lily, and it was again, if we just start at Egg and move our way back to Jay, if we were to battle it out, who do you think would come out on top?
Ooh.
If we're all locked in a
I thought about this
whatever.
one
I
for a
did
little bit. And
think
it was very
the
clear for me.
Five creatures in the ring, only one
Snack.
leaves.
If
Eggs, yeah,
she
so why-
flew 120 feet in the air or higher and just shot us with ranged attacks, I don't think anyone else has a way of recoursing of firing back at her.
I think I
Like,
might have a way of
I don't-
recoursing that, but
I'm gonna
but
fucking
it'll be
peg it.
Hang on,
difficult.
let Egg finish first.
Like,
Oh, what?
So like in an open field with no cover, and with Miss Snack 120 feet in the air, I think she'd beat probably most of us. Like even me
Okay.
with resistance to magic damage.
He's saying basically you'd fly up in the air and blow the shit out of us, Snack.
Oh, yeah, with my Cosmoker.
Yeah, because I don't think we have as many long range attacks as a party.
see,
Yeah.
this is where I disagree.
answer.
I actually would say Egg. One, for the fact that Snack would probably run out of spell slots before she killed all of us. Two, with my range, I probably want to deal with her first anywho while he took care of you two. But I'm squishy, Snack is squishy, and then it's going to be down to Zinfire and you. And it would be pretty close with Spar being able to heal, but I think with Egg's smite would just be able to pinch that out quite clearly.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
was thinking like a round robin duel scenario, as you were thinking free for
I was
all.
I was thinking
Like,
free for all.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking
but-
free for all as well.
But like, if you hid somewhere, I don't know if anyone could beat you.
Well, I
Like,
think we're in an open
there's
field.
stealth
I don't get. I'm not gonna be able to get my sneak attack off, and West was my biggest thing. So I'd be just sitting there
Yeah.
throwing psychotic dice at your face, and then you get up to me, you just start hacking me up with a sword with smite, and I die. Like there's not much
yeah,
else I can
if
do.
there was cover though, you'd
Oh, there was cover.
kick
Yeah,
her
I'd be.
ass.
I would probably do a lot better, but
All right, let's hear some more of the answers, and then we can continue dissecting. So Snack, who do you reckon? Who'd come out on top out of the 5 characters?
at least she's honest.
Probably Egg. To be honest,
Do you not
Egg?
remember
he
the
lets
numbers
he
was
lets
throwing
me
out?
do like weird things to him.
Wait, time out. I have new questions.
Continue.
Like turn
Can
him
we-
into a gorilla.
I thought he was a holy man.
TOS.
Oh, turn him into a gorilla. Gotcha.
We are streaming.
I know. I wanted careful answers. So Egg,
When he
all
said,
right.
"Oh God," I thought it was a different thing.
Yeah. But it wasn't Egg saying it, so. Okay, so Zenfire, who do you think?
Look, I don't know. Let's go through this logically. Like, I mean, half the time Rennick's naked and has no fucking armor on anyway. He's running away.
No,
from
I
them,
have
like,
all my
kicking
armor
with
on.
backwards
Only
hands.
certain circumstances.
Like,
Except when you
You know?
shoved your chest up against the glass to the goblin.
half the time, Snack forgets to cast any sort of protection on herself before she goes into a room anyway. Like,
I learned my lesson by the end of it.
half the time, like Luggage is going to try and talk people to death with fucking questions. Like,
It's a legit assessment.
it's pretty much between Egg and me, like, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, can we just remember that you, for 2/3 of the campaign, didn't actually have your armor on, and you were the one walking around with a naked dwarf
Fine. Don't
With-
worry about it.
with like 10
But-
armor.
But yet,
I've got a
the 3
Pegasus.
times
That's
that
all I
I
wanna
got
say.
naked and wrestled, I'm the one who gets made fun of. But
Uh-huh.
okay, it's not like my it's not like my armor class right now is 20 or something. But whatever.
I
What is it when you're not wearing armor?
We're not going to
actually-
talk about when I'm not wearing armor.
What is the armor class of Greece, Jay?
a naked-
Like, can I just
have a
establish
naked,
that?
greased up Genasi. Genasi. Let
Oh,
me
I
know
guess
at least I don't have to
on
breathe.
that one.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
Egg, because I can't be that guy that says himself.
Well, I actually think it would be Zenfire with that axe and the Pegasus and the mobility and flight.
Oh fuck! I forgot
and
about the Pegasus.
the multi attacks and the
What do you
ability
mean,
to throw
darling?
the axes, as well as I just think there were too many things there that stacked in Zenfire's favor in either a 1v1 or a battle royale. That was my thinking.
I'll take it.
As long as he put his armor on. Caveat.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Zenfire at the end of the campaign, not
I'm
Zenfire
halfway
at
on.
episodes,
Uh,
16.
I could
Pre-16.
summon the job bed.
Yes,
It'll
but
be
you
like-
can't. Oh, wait, at that point, we're not allies anymore. We're all fighting.
Yeah.
So he could use that and take off our heads if he hits a 20 on us.
Yeah, that's
So-
fair. All right, so the next one. Jay, sorry, who do you think would win?
I
Out of the characters.
Zenfire or Rennick, not because of anything to do with your characters, but because they know the game best, I think. And so just by pure chance of not missing anything on their character sheets and knowing what you guys can do, probably one of those two. When it comes to
Not
pure
Egg?
strength, well, when it comes to, sorry, Rennick and Egg. Is
Oh,
what I was gonna
okay,
say.
okay.
That makes more sense.
When it comes to like pure strength of a character, the sorcerer is going to kick the shit out of all of you. You also forget that the cleric can heal himself.
Mm.
I mentioned that.
So can
So
I.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
I know for a fact I would immediately attack
so
Snack
can-
because she's sorcerer. I'm like,
Zenfire
you can kill
just
me
heal
quick. I'm
himself
gonna
as
kill you.
well, technically.
Rennick doesn't care if he wins as long as Snack loses.
as long as the threat I saw dies, that's
Yeah.
cool. I don't care if all the 3 start ganging up on me. I probably get
Yeah.
frustrated and start fighting back against them and let her live. But just kill us
Genuinely,
all.
I don't know. You guys are fairly well balanced. Apart from certain magic items like the Bandersnatch and that, you guys are pretty well balanced.
I think you already answered this, so I can skip it. The what side quest did we miss? I think I'm pretty sure you answered that earlier with the different things that we skipped over. But there wasn't too many of them, so I won't ask that a second time. You kind of touched on this, but so this is again for you, Jay. Is what are some of the rewards available at the Witchlight Carnival? You know how we got those bonuses for our characters that we missed out on by not taking on the challenges. One of the ones I remembered is that because we had these leftover tickets, and one of the things I didn't do was I was being goaded to do the staring contest with the Cyclops. We got distracted by people falling off giant dragonflies and other things, so we didn't do it.
Did.
So what did we sort of miss that may have advantaged us?
The vast majority of the things you missed would have been rewards like snacks, carnival prizes that weren't much. A lot of those small party games were carnival prizes. I might have worked them in. It's like the grease thing with the goblins. That's not something I actively planned to do. It was just you guys had kept it had kept coming up as a joke that when it finally came to you guys interacting with goblins, it just made sense for you guys to get help in that situation.
Even the custard damage.
The custard damage.
The custard damage was interesting because the custard damage did have an effect. And that is that secretly, if at any point luggage had have died, not unconscious, but died, he would have basically got a free revivify on himself.
What?
Oh, wow.
Because his blood,
the power of custard compels you.
Basically, all of the oil, like the blood inside his body, the magical oil that keeps his body running, was replaced with magical custard after that. You guys just never had a chance to find that out.
Oh my god!
There is a
that was one of the
question
few
I do
times
have
that
for you,
Jay
Jay.
actually
Snack would
rolled
have just
well.
tried to drain him of all the custard.
Yeah, just be constantly.
So I have a question for you, Jay, because it's not asked here, and I just did a quick check through, which we all agreed in the last session to use the fortuitous circumstance, and we did not see. I don't know how that planned out for us because we still had a dead egg, and so that's I wanted to see what that went towards.
Oh, that went towards egg not technically dying.
Not technically dying. Okay, cool. That's what I thought it might have been. Okay.
Yeah, it was just when you guys died, basically what happens is when a creature dies, Prismir looks at them and says, "Are you a child? Yes, I will protect you. Are you an adult? Yes, fuck off." Basically. When you guys died though, there was going to be basically like a 10% chance that because you basically have not been whole since you were children, that Prismir would still recognize you as children. So technically, if you lost your characters much earlier in the campaign and you needed a replacement character, like your characters might not be gone at the end of the campaign. A few of you might still survive if something went horribly wrong. And it was just that thing of like, oh, that just became 100%. It was originally going to be the Rakshasa just sides with you guys. The Rakshasa just shows up and is like, "Sup?" And he was actually originally, if you guys got to the throne room before the Jabberwock was dead, the Rakshasa would be there. If the Jabberwock died, if you guys if the Jabberwock died before you got to the throne room and it didn't die by slashing damage, it would come back, and in that case I probably would have made the Rakshasa show up to help him, because he would have needed help. But I don't know, that's the thing about a fortuitous circumstance when I give them out, is that even I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I just wanted to confirm what happened with that. Sorry to derail the questions.
Yes, no, that was Egg. When Egg died, I was like, okay, he can survive. We can have little kid Egg hanging with all the other little kiddies.
That was such a beautiful
at the treehouse.
Beautiful finish. The other question I had around the carnival was what happened with those. I know the clock got wound back in the storyline that you wrapped up, but what became of the carnival tickets? Like, because we carried them all through hither, thither, and yon. Those unused tickets that we never used at the carnival. Like, did they have anything to them, or they're just really? They're just now. They were just a thing that we carried in our inventory.
So when you are in,
excuse me,
hither, Bavlorna could use them to track you. The tickets.
Oh,
so she was tracking your time through the swamp until you met Clapperclaw. because Clapperclaw is a
Ticket puncher.
basically had an item on him that meant that him and anyone within a certain radius of him couldn't be tracked by divination magic. So from the moment you met Clapperclaw onwards, she didn't know where you were.
Nice.
So if you guys had
Hey,
gone
Clapper.
to kill her before Clapper, you would have had a much harder time because she would have seen you coming a lot easier. But
Yep.
yeah. After that, no, they were just carnival tickets for the most part.
Okay.
They were just carnival tickets. One of the more boring aspects.
And another one for you from Baked. Why did Luggage not get eaten by a dragon? And he had a second question in chat. In a future campaign, if Luggage comes back as an NPC, could he at least get nibbled by a dragon?
Hey,
2 parts to
look,
the question.
the campaign's overbaked. Your headcanon's your headcanon. What happens to Luggage next in your head is entirely up to you, my man.
As we're
He
all
can be
walking
ripped
to the
apart
new
by 20
carnival.
dragons. The reason he did not get eaten by a dragon is because I gave the party an option and they decided that egg was the most expendable.
That's not the
Whoa.
thought process behind it. Don't put those words in our mouths.
No,
You literally set up the circumstances that we could not use.
I gave the party the option of fighting together or letting Egg fight on his own, and they decided that getting to the castle quickly was the most important thing. So, yeah, if they wanted to let Luggage stay behind, he could have. It's just that Egg was the most logical choice when it came to giving him a powerful longsword. You give it to the paladin. He's the smart choice. That's all.
Could have given it to Luggage.
Right, so
Fuck the next
God.
question. God damn it.
All right. So no, this is for Rennick. Please explain. There's been multiple iterations of this from Lily, especially.
I know.
Why did your character have cat feet in your model that you
don't
made?
know why. When I did the build, I had normal feet on
Yes,
it.
you
I
did.
guess at some point I must have messed up because he's not supposed to have cat feet. He's not at all. That's not supposed to be there. And I never noticed it until she pointed it out to me. I looked down like, fuck, he does have cat feet. That's not right. And I just never went back and fixed it because I thought it was funny.
And Jay, is that why he ended up with a cat's tail? Because he fucked up his model and gave it cat feet.
No,
I
I am
right
going to
with
be
that?
honest. Lily would mention it to me, and then I would forget about it until the next time someone would mention it to me. I forgot about the cat feet thing. The reason that he ended up with a cat tail is because he'd made friends with Gloam, and I thought it was funny because we all know Rennick's a big pussy.
I'm glad I asked that question. On the list.
Radix like one of the most tough ones.
No,
okay,
no.
fine.
I don't know. It was just I was trying to think of like aesthetically, like what armor I could give him, and cat tail. That's just where I went. I just ended up giving him a cat themed set of armor.
I think
You
it's
know, it kind of
perfect.
works because you know stealth as well.
Yeah, totally. And cat feet. Lily has a couple of
gonna drop
versions
that.
of this question, so I'm going to put them
Yeah.
both together. It's what happens to age. Now, I'm going to a bit of confusion from me. So I'll ask the question. I'll tell you what confusion is, and then I'll shut up. So what happens to AJ's wife and kid is the question
Yeah.
from Lily. My point of confusion is that AJ's story sort of morphed because when we originally took him, he was talking about he had his darling, but his darling was his goldfish that he put into himself. And that was his reference to what his wife, he'd led us to believe was his wife, was his darling, but then it was a goldfish. But then later he ended up having a wife and kid after he ate the dog. So that's where my confusion came in, but I didn't bring that up during the campaign. So what happened to AJ's wife and kid? And please tell us how they morphed from goldfish into gelatinous cubes.
Well, no, they were halflings.
So first off, Alexander
Now.
Johannesson, as is his full name.
His
That's
Alexander what?
We didn't ask what AJ stood
Alexander
for.
Johannesson.
Okay, they said Johansson. Like I don't like that name.
Alexander Johannesson was a farmer from the nation of Undare in Eberron, his farm wasn't doing too well during the last war. It had been raided by soldiers a few times. He had a very lovely wife, and they had a son. And things got that bad that they were starving, and so he just stopped praying to any particular gods and just started sending his prayers out into the void, seeing what would come back. And in a twisted turn of fate, Zyblina happened to hear that, and he prayed. He just wanted all of their misery to go away, so she brought them to the Feywild. They were nice enough people. They were pleasant. They had a young child, and she very much likes to take care of and protect children. And so she brought him to the Feywild, and then he was a very close friend and advisor to Zyblina for a very long time. He was a very, very intelligent person. He ended up studying the arcane arts, lived for a couple of 100 years, and then when the hags took over, they were just like, "You're a powerful wizard. We need to get rid of you, but we are not powerful enough to kill you, so we're going to curse you." So they turned him and his son into gelatinous cubes. They turned his wife into a goldfish. And basically were just like, "We're going to curse you with basically stupidity." And basically did the equivalent of lowering his intelligence score and dumped him in a swamp somewhere. He eventually found his way to Bavlorna's house, where you guys ran into him.
You just made that up off the top of your head, didn't you?
You had to just make that up off the top of your head, or you just made that up the last week.
I made that up.
When AJ came out of the well, he didn't have that backstory. I know it.
He did not know.
Yeah.
When he came out of the well, he was a random gelatinous cube that I thought would be funny. And then 3 sessions later, you guys were so fucking obsessed with him, I needed to put in some goddamn legwork.
Come on, it's not like we group funded it.
That's wonderful goddamn legwork, man. That's
That's
really
right.
good. That's really
yeah,
good.
no. So he,
Yeah, it is. I agree.
Yeah, he was basically just a farmer who a Fae took a liking to him in the weird way that Fae do, and he ended up in a very unfortunate circumstance. And
then he
to
met
answer
us.
the actual questions, what happens to AJ's kids, what happens to AJ's wife?
Yep.
So this is something that Lily asked me the moment the campaign ended, which was you were all sent back to the moment you went to for anyone who isn't clear on the ending, because it's very obvious, but for any of you who don't know, basically at the end of the campaign, the setup was that you'd all at some point snuck into the Witchlight Carnival without a ticket, and as payment, they took something from you, the hags. And so this time at the end, you all have been basically transported back in time to when you were children as a group with AJ this time. And you were all sneaking into the Witchlight Carnival again, but this time you had tickets. You could get in legitimately. And so basically that curse that had led you guys all the way up to saving her, it didn't exist anymore. Like that curse wasn't there. So you got to live your lives and have your childhoods back. Wish magic's weird. So for wish magic to work, you must end up at roughly the same place at the same time, which means that Snack would still have to end up as a fairy, as a sorcerer. Luggage would still have to end up, as a cleric. Rennick would still have to end up with Gloam and that. So basically your lives for the most part would have played out the same way, just with a lot less misery in them. And that's the same for AJ. AJ grew up, met his wife, they had a kid, they got a farm, and his life just went a lot better because Zyblina, in the wording of her wish, just made everything better. So your lives were exactly the same as they were, but just better in every way, whether slightly or in more major ways. So yeah, so he still has his kid and his wife. It's just his life he never had to pray to Zyblina to get that happiness. He just got to live on his farm and be happy. Unless you guys drag him off on an adventure and got him killed earlier, in which case, that's up to you guys.
I don't think I
You
can
know for
face
a fact
AJ
I would-
dying again.
I would dive in front of a knife for that man. It wouldn't be the first time I did it.
Sorry.
The next one I think we'll
my
get
fault AJ
through
died.
fairly quickly.
It's
The
all
the
Nick's
one
fault.
to luggage was how many buttons. It would be too many to count how many buttons, ribbons, because the whole luggage thing was just any time finding one of those shiny things would just be added to the collection of the
Absolute
ragged
magpie.
tunic. So as you noticed with the just looting everything, storing everything, that was the same with the buttons and ribbons. You couldn't even put a count on how many there were. And then for Jay, what would have changed in the Jabberwock fight if we stayed as a group? You
it would have
alluded
been
to
much
this
harder.
in the stream.
Yeah,
but
it would have been able to use its legendary actions to its full effect. It would have had nearly double the number of hit points. You guys still would have chewed through it quickly, but I lowered the amount of damage it was doing. I lowered how many attacks it had a turn. I lowered how much health it had. I slightly lowered its armor class. Egg fought a close enough to that it was still a very big threat. Like even if I'd used the weaker version against you as a group. But yeah, basically I had a version of it it was still a deadly encounter for Egg, but it wasn't impossible. Whereas for you guys, it would have been a deadly encounter as a group still.
Yep.
It just would have been a slightly tougher version, numbers wise. Like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think you sort of alluded to that in one of the streams after when we were chatting. I know it was after the stream had ended. But it's on YouTube. Go follow that. So all right.
Good
Egg's
luck.
been dying to know how Luggage got his armor and why he hated Bully so much. So the actual Luggage story that we never really got to discuss, Luggage actually came out of Rennick's one shot, which is what I was interested in getting to, and he was under the control of Conjun and that whole cult. So I wrote his whole backstory as being a warforged who was enslaved by the evil cultist and under the control of the holy symbol that got destroyed by Zenfire's uncle. And so that's where Luggage's obsession with the dwarves and the Thunderstone family came from, because immediately upon coming out of that control, that was his kind of blinding flash of coming back into life and being aware of his own, having self-control again was as a result of the Thunderstones, but they'd already left. That whole party that we'd constructed for Rennick's one shot had moved on. So Luggage came out of that. That's where he looted his armor from and started bowerbirding and absorbed that into himself. And it's also why to answer Egg's second question, why he reacted so badly to Ogden, who was enslaving and controlling and had such an issue with the hags and such an unwillingness to really cope too much with what they were doing, because it was triggering from what he had been through with an undeterminate amount of time enslaved by the cult. So that was why. I got a bit carried away writing the backstory, by the way. His backstory was about like
come on.
2,000 words long. I got a bit excited. Which
Motherfucker
Egg
wrote a
predicted.
YA novel.
And which my assignment.
It's a good segue to your next question, though.
Yes, and that's why I wrote that question. Well, that's a really good question from Egg. So you've got mine. The key aspects of the story. So the question is, a character didn't interact much around our respective backstories and history. What key aspects in a
I don't think Jake
nutshell
can hear
of your
us right
character
now.
backstory it doesn't really impact him. Did we not touch on? And what do you wish you had integrated from your character's story into the campaign? So what didn't we touch on from your character's story and key elements, and what do you wish we had? Egg, you're up.
I did the opposite of Spar, where I had didn't put much effort in at all. The background I picked was Fae Lost, where basically I'd been in the Fae before and I can like recognize Fae World stuff, but didn't really touch on that at all, which is fair enough. Basically I wanted him to be like quite bitter about losing his ability to keep secrets, and that he's he would have like told a secret that got his parents separated, and then both of them hated him because it's his fault because he couldn't keep that secret. And lots of sad stuff. That's why I wanted it back. And then once I planned like once he got it back, he'd be like really secretive about everything, be like, oh, did you get it? It's like, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Right?
Well,
Didn't get
in this
a
very
chance to do
specific
that.
instance, the divorce was your fault.
Jay is coming in and sniping you.
Well, I imagine Jay's very aware of our backstory, because I reckon he would have read it to see what he would weave into the campaign, is my guess.
Didn't weave nothing.
Mhm.
It's not technically correct.
I hate it, but it's a campaign that doesn't really let me do that.
Lily wants to know
This
if you can
one's
eat your
timely, so
burger.
before we get to Rennick, can Lily eat your burger, Jay? Yep, there you go, Lily. You can eat his burger.
Depends. What type of burger is it?
So,
An original recipe burger.
Stay on track, you mod.
Stay on target.
So Rennick, how about
Go
for
leader
you
and break
with
it
your
up.
character and his cat feed?
My character, I think I played him very well. I tried to stay true to him throughout the whole, keeping his backstory and how I made decisions. And I feel that quite a few decisions I made still stayed on track in what I portrayed him as. The storyline for him was that he was a part on a pirate ship, and his dad was the captain, and he made him do really horrible things, pillaging and stuff like that. And so we went against that. All right, Mando.
Oh, hang on, is it Mando? Hang on, I need to see it again. Whether it's Mando.
Well, it was Boba.
Boba, yeah.
And so I tried to portray him into, trying to be different from all that. And when he lost his sense of direction, life was even harder for him because, what good is a pirate? You're just distracting
Sorry,
me,
Jay,
bro.
are we boring you?
Jay's a pirate.
Know all of this information and don't have a
Yeah.
backstory. Please continue.
Yeah, I know you do.
And so when I lost my sense of direction, life was even harder. So that's why I was more and willing to, go on an adventure to get it back. But yes, my backstory influenced quite a few decisions I made in the game.
Yep. Sorry, I'm laughing because Jay with his sword and Snack's got a penguin hat back on.
Yeah, Pingu. Like,
All right, so Snack, how about your character?
I can't even remember my background story.
This is so on it's so on brand for you.
Snack
Alright,
I do
moving on.
here.
remember. Yeah.
It
Well,
was
I do remember my kleptomaniac snacks, and I lived that pretty.
yeah,
well.
she
Yep.
was it was basically the classic like fairy got lost and stumbled into the material plane from the fake
Okay.
life, basically, sort of.
Yep. So I'm back to Zenfire. You? It's
right.
storyline stuff?
Well, couple of things. I think like hailing from the mountain realm of the 9-9, like I didn't explore that as much. I very much love the fact that Jay allowed me to incorporate yeeting into my storyline, which I had obviously learned from my
I was
uncle
so happy
Dolgum.
about that.
But I think the thing that probably in hindsight I could have made more of was, the dwarves' like strong sense of singing around a campfire, and I only did it once, and I didn't even sing it, but probably could have had an opportunity to do more stupid stuff for the lulls.
Hang on.
Oh. Well, the only other element I would add to mine is that the
Get your ATSD out of here, bro.
I need to close my eyes and just say this.
What is even that?
Is that
What
the
yellow
episode
thing?
in Rebels where like he steals the AT from like the base and then breaks out after like completing the stormtrooper training? No, okay.
Oh,
The only other bit I would have added was that luggage in searching for the Thunderstones came across Zenfire and formed a bond with the young
Yeah, like we didn't sort
Thunderstone
of
who
delve
had
into
his own weaknesses and his insecurities, and
Yes.
he could yeet his axe, but it wouldn't
but it would not
so
return.
it yeeted but didn't retreat. Yeetus but no retreatus.
Yeetus but no
Which I
retreatus.
thought was a great part of your backstory. So we actually wrote our backstories together and interwove them.
Yeah.
That never really came, which would have been fun to explore, but
Yeah.
it's all good. We had plenty of fun without it. And okay, baked potato for everyone. If you could replace one party member, who would you replace? Why am I even asking? We all know it's luggage. Right. Well,
That's it. Next one.
guys,
No,
asked
it's all
and
the-
answered.
let's move on.
You're not going to give any
The
answer that
nail
will
on the head.
satisfy. Yeah, it's sorted. Get rid of the Warforged. Who asked too many questions.
tried to use
All
them as
right. Back to going along each of us. What was your favorite moment of the campaign and why? So, Egg, what was your favorite moment of the campaign and why?
Yeah, killing the Jabberwock. I think that was like really fun to go through that with Jay. I think. And yeah, 10 out of 10.
Excellent. Rennick?
So I like the trees as well.
Yeah, I was
trees
going
are
to
pretty
say,
cool.
I was gonna say nothing about the trees.
I was gonna say the Jabberwock scene or the scene where I was talking to trying to persuade the guy with the raft, because I actually was starting to get into character. I was like actually thinking about it, and I was trying to get into it, and I actually had some fun with that. Which from that, based off of this, I'm actually gonna start trying to play role play a lot more in my when I play D&D.
Snack?
Rennet got absolutely mind fucked with a dream.
Forgot about that. Yeah. Thanks, Snack.
No worries.
Zenfire?
Okay, a few bogan trees because How fun was that? Greased up wrestling, of course. Valor not being forgotten. That whole shit when we were just clearly driving Jay nuts by just like purposely handing the sword to each other around the circle, back and forth, around, just to make him say it, which was like just brutal but beautiful.
Delightful.
Yeah. Trippy sticky deaths are fucking some of my favorite shit as well, because but look, I don't know how many people remember, but remember when I was trying to pretend to be drunk as a cover story to let you sneak in to somewhere else, and the dude walked me to like the bathroom, and I managed to pull out of my ass with 5 seconds of Googling the best drunk poem to fucking recite, as he let me walk away. Like that's the look on your faces was just hilarious to me.
Oh, can I add one more to mine?
Yeah, of course. That's what we're here for.
The weed dealer in the tree.
The weed tree.
I just want to remind you guys, I have to leave in about like 5 minutes.
All right.
This guy.
All
So
right.
I'm wanting to make money so I can live.
That's fair.
I know. I will jump then to I know there's a couple of you specific ones. I'll jump to them before you got to go. Mine would have already been mentioned. When it wasn't just the trees, it was Egg talking back to the trees. And I was like, is this your first time talking to trees? And he's doing that.
That's when we decided that Egg was going to be our spokesman, and he has the lowest speech stats, but it was always the best.
It was just he's done his and you role played that so well, Egg. And then Jay's like, "What? Are you all right, mate? Is this your first time talking to trees?" And then the other one was when you just busted out the most ochre squirrel at the Witchlight carnival that was on the tree with the rides, and it came out of nowhere.
Forgot about that squirrel.
They were there. There were so many but to pinpoint 2, they cracked me up, as did many others. So coming back to a Rennick question around Rennick's dagger, what was the curse? And so what was the go with that dagger? Because it was cursed. What would have happened potentially as things went on with it?
You mean my poison dagger?
Oh,
Yeah. Because you picked it up and you were cursed with it, and you wouldn't let anyone else look at it or hold it, or it's yours.
It's your precious.
They made it very clear it was cursed.
yeah. Do you want to answer?
No, you go ahead, because I don't remember it too well. I
Okay,
remember that
so
I was possessive
there's
over it.
a couple of things about this one. First off, he has vulnerability to any poison damage he takes, and disadvantage on saving throws against the poison status, in particular. But also he's just obsessed with it. Like it's his. He's just not. He's obsessed with this item and can't let anyone else take it.
Yeah,
basically.
and which
He doesn't give
thankfully
it up.
no one pushed on that, so I didn't have to play that out.
Yeah.
Which would have been fun if you guys did.
About it, as we just ran out of time in it, but I was really keen to ask to have a look at it and see where that unfurled.
We probably would have wrestled.
Naked.
The only way I can do it, baby.
And to get to your questions too, so you can hear the answer. This is from Rennick to you, Jay. What were some of the different endings that may have happened?
Jay, just stand up and show your T-shirt there for a second, because if we're going to talk about alternate endings, you're going to say that, and I'm going to go. Because we can't do an
I have like
alternate
3 or
ending.
4 different Scooby-Doo T-shirts. I fucking love Scooby-Doo, guys.
Nice.
I'm not joking. I unequivocally love the Scooby-Doo. Right, it's fucking amazing. Every series is.
Cool. Literally have every episode of movie as Scooby-Doo ever.
I've been rewatching Mystery Incorporated recently. Great show, by the way. I'm a grown ass man. So other endings, basically, there were some simple ones. You guys get sent back. Everything's fixed. There were it's hard to say what are some of the different endings. Like there are written ones. I'm happy to send it to you, or you can read them. Like just very basic. Good guys win, bad guys lose sort of stuff. You guys get sent back to the material plane. You can move on with your lives. You guys could have stayed in the Feywild. Your characters could have lived almost forever, could have lived hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years beyond her life expectancy. She would have invited you to remain with her as like advisors and guards and consorts and all that. Or you would have all died. Like, if you'd angered her, if you'd brought up... So, fun fact, if you say the name Tasha, she would have gotten really fucking pissed off. And if you kept pushing that subject, she would have just fucking killed you. because like that is a part of her that she does not want brought up anymore. And the fact that you know that is like these people are a liability. They saved me. If they shut up, I'll let them go. But if they don't, fucking, they're gonna get it. But yeah, it's one of those things in D&D where it's just the classic you win, you lose variations. It's a D&D campaign, so it's hard to say a definitive ending until
Was
you
our
guys
was
play
our
that
ending
scenario.
a definitive ending? Like that wasn't
That
originally
was
a
one
plan?
that was in the book. Yes, that was one
Okay.
that was like
Nice.
an alternate version of like, hey, if you want to, you don't have to. But I was like, I like that. I'm gonna expand upon what was in the book a bit more, and I thought that was kind of a nice ending for your characters and a way for me to definitively end the campaign, so we can move on to something else. Now that you're all a bit more experienced and sort of know what you're doing a bit better.
And do you really want to, explain fog one more time, Rannick, or can
No,
we
I'm
move
good.
on?
I'm good. that was just a joke.
I
don't wanna
know. I
explain
just
that.
So Jay, who made the most questionable, aka stupidest decision, and
Why the
what was
fuck did you follow the Rakshasa?
it? From B.
hey, here's a demon that physically can't be killed. You kill it, it will come back to life in hell, and its only purpose until it kills you is to hunt you and make your life miserable. Yeah, guys, I'm a follow that. I'm gonna go after it.
No, he
thought
didn't
I
even
might get
tell us.
some
He just
insight.
went.
Are you
I
gonna
thought
He
it
tell
was
just
anyone else?
fun.
went.
It just
Are you gonna
went.
tell someone else? Are you gonna tell the
What's
rest of the party? Maybe get their backup or let them talk you out of it? No, I
Oh,
won't
nah.
do that.
No, I'm good.
No, I got
I'm
this.
rogue.
I'm level 3. I'm level 3, Dad. I can do what I want. I can make my own decisions. I'm level 3.
Oh, look at that. Is it
I
time
should
for
have
me to
fucking
go
killed
yet?
you immediately.
Because I'm just getting yelled at over here.
No,
I wanted
like,
to ask this question before you left for work because I was pretty confident I knew the answer.
like
Oh, yeah,
honestly,
give me
like,
that.
like, genuinely, that blinds. Because like, the moment I saw that, I'm like, this thing has like a passive perception of 25. Like, you were rolling like good, but he should have spotted. Like, you are alive by my fucking goodwill. Like,
Yeah, I know. I know that's why Rannick stayed
Like,
alive was after that. It's because you let me.
It caused a very good thing of like, because originally when that Rakshasa left, that was going to be it. You never see him again. It was going to be a thing. We all forget about it. But the fact that you followed him, and then I was like, he remembers him. I was like, I have to keep bringing the Rakshasa up now. You fuck.
The reason I decided to follow is I wanted to be on our side, but because I wasn't very upfront with that, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't very easy, and so he wanted to kill me. So
Yeah.
I went about it wrong, but I had good intentions a little
You
bit.
You did.
It made
The
for
road to hell is paved with good intentions.
it made for a very interesting hour and a half. I can tell you that was.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah, we
more than
spent-
happy to be a passenger on
we
just
spent most
watching
of
that
that
But
session-
what
unfold.
if I hide over
Just-
here? But what if I fucking
Yeah, I
yeet
felt
this?
so
Yeah.
bad after that. I was like, I felt
What
so
if I
bad. 'cause
run
I felt like-
away?
My favorite moment though was you were in the tree and I was like, he spots you in the tree and you're like, so what? I'm up the tree and I'm just like, he pulls out a hand crossbow and just the look on your face of like, oh fuck.
You're like, come
It
on,
was great.
man.
You just
I was
being
like,
"I'm fine,
he
I'm
has
in
no
it."
range, that idiot. Come on,
Just pulls out a
I'm
hand,
good.
just slowly loading it like, for fucking rogues. Oh, that was great.
I was trying to work out why it would be so hard for a tiger demon to climb a tree. That you were
Backwards
so
forward.
confident.
Just saying.
No,
Have you tried to
so
climb a tree like
my-
this?
it was
No, I
an
haven't.
inherent-
Strangely,
It was an inherent part of that Rakshasa that part of him when I sort of like actually started doing some work was like when I started thinking about him and had to, I was like, what kind of personality has he got? Quick, figure it out. Was like, oh, he wants the maximum reward for the minimum amount of effort. Why climb a tree when it can just pull out a hand crossbow? Like, he is not going to climb that tree unless he has to climb that tree. He has a ranged weapon.
Follow-up question to that, the thing that blindsided you the most is that why you hated Rannick throughout the entire campaign?
No, I hated Rennie because he fucking sucks. No, I didn't hate Rennick. You were just very easy to pick on after that.
Yes,
You were
because I
very-
fucked up so badly.
You were a good target.
I can't argue with you when I fucking follow Rakshasa and
But
trying to do that.
That was probably the thing that blindsided me the most. Out of it, you guys did a lot of crazy shit, but you following that Rakshasa, you just fucking Rakshasa. Oh well,
I thought he was cool.
yeah. Hey, powerful ally.
so
I don't
Jay,
know.
There was a sword you might remember that Sir Tolliver gave to Miss Snack that had a phrase that it uttered to. Oh, sorry, that gave to. I think I picked
Yes.
it up, but
Your
do you
valor should
remember?
not be forgotten.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Yes, yeah, that
Yep.
one.
Yeah, right. What if I hold it?
So,
Yeah.
your valor should
So,
not be.
so
Listen
what?
here, you little shit.
Why did it not say it to Snack initially? We never
So,
covered that.
yes. So this is an interesting thing.
That was from Egg. It was a good question.
Anytime, so in the lore of the book, I was like, anytime you draw this sword, it says to the wielder, your valor shall not be forgotten. If they're like true of heart and all this other stuff. And I was like, that's kind of cool, but I always hate like magic items that are like, but why does it do that? Like, it's cool that it does that, but what like, so Talavar is a skilled knight. Why does he have this sword and not just like a +1 longsword? And I was like, okay, cool. What if it's like a sword of warning, yeah, which is a D&D weapon that can like advantage on initiative, perception, stuff like that, helps you basically know when, and like if there's an enemy near you, you know it. And I was like, okay, well, what if when you draw the sword, it warns you of danger nearby? And I was like, that's kind of cool. That'd make sense for Sir Talavar because he's a fairy dragon. And I was like, well, what if it only works on Sir Talavar? So basically what happened is eventually the sword stopped saying that, as you know. And the reason it stopped saying that is because you guys saved him. So it kept saying that up until you saved him from the cage, the second time you saved him, because he was no longer in danger. Every time you drew that sword, it was the sword's way of saying he's in danger, basically. Like, my actual owner needs help. But there was, because no one ever did a deep like identify on the sword. You guys identified the magical properties, but no one cast like a full like magical screening over it to find out all of its properties. You guys never got that's what it was trying to do to you. You know, oh, it's a +1 longsword, and it says this when I draw it, and that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys had have known that, you would have known, oh, we've saved Sir Talabar, we have his sword. You would have known, oh no, like he's actually still in danger. I think there was once in the inn when it didn't say it, and then it kept saying it again. It was just after you guys got the sword and he was safe, and then he got recaught again.
Yeah.
And then it started again, and then it stopped. So yeah, that's all it was.
Question without notice, Sir Talavar. Was there a point where he actually was successful in a battle? Because we pretty much always met him when he was fucking
Sir
captured,
Talavar-
locked up in
I
a
gotta go,
cage.
guys. I will be listening in.
See you, Dynasty.
While I walk
See
away.
ya.
Talk
No
to you
worries,
guys later.
man.
Bye, buddy.
Getcha.
Because I got a solid like Sir Didymus vibe from like the labyrinth out of Sir Talavar.
So Sir
Yes,
Talavar is
agreed.
interesting. So Sir Talavar is basically, he's written as like he is a knight of the Summer Court of the Summer Queen, Titania. He is a distinguished warrior and commander, but he is one of those warriors who, you know, he's the equivalent of being in his late 60s, early 70s. You know, he's got the silver fox thing going on. You know, he's still a hit with the ladies and all that, but he's an older guy. You know, he's a good-looking older guy, but he's an older guy, so he's not what he was. Basically, he's like Elkhorn, where like he is a powerful warrior, and there are, you know, numerous tales written about his victories, but he is now a commander, not a warrior. And the Summer Queen sent him because she was the only one he was the only one she trusted to send to see what was going on in Prismere, basically. He was the only one who'd met Zybilina before. He was the only one who had good relations with them, so it made sense. And he just got there and just found a situation that was beyond his capabilities anymore. Like he is a battlefield commander, not a mercenary who fights on their own. So he just wrong place, wrong time, to basically. But yeah, he is a legendary warrior, basically, that just is past his prime. That's all.
So I'm sorry I didn't get this in before Rennick left. Bean put one in chat. She said, was Rennick the most annoying player to have to work around for you, Jay?
No. So okay, Bean, I would like some clarification. Do you mean like in terms of like he kept doing dumb shit? Because if so, definitively yes. But if you mean like in terms of like skill set, no. He wasn't the most annoying. The most annoying thing to have in your party is a paladin. Simply because no, like not in a bad way. Okay, I will clarify. There's nothing wrong with paladins. But planning encounters when you have a paladin is difficult because a rogue who is roguing right can sneak attack once a turn. A paladin who is paladining right can smite multiple times a turn and ultimately will always deal more damage. A paladin is a tank that can output insane levels of damage, and if you're not careful, your combats become very easy, as we saw at a couple of occasions. Paladins are a very powerful class. They are a heavy hitter, which is one of the things that sort of like Wizards have tried to do recently with making them more of a glass cannon, but they're not. They have insane amounts of health, they can wear heavy armor, and they deal massive damage. Paladins are a nightmare sometimes.
So
not to
being
men-
clarified, that was Rennick's
Oh!
decisions the most annoying to have to deal with.
But yeah,
Sorry,
when
just
it came
just
to
for that
decision
question.
making, when it came to decision making, Dynasty did this thing where every single fucking decision he made was annoying as all hell. But I was never as much as it was annoying, I was never actively annoyed at him because all of them were in character.
Yeah.
Knowing his
Yeah.
backstory, every decision he made sense for his character. And it was clear he was never trying to actively sabotage the party. It was just clear that every time he made a decision, he never had all of the information. It's like he was going in half cocked every time. And it never worked out. So yeah, he was the most annoying, but in a good way. He made his decision making. He did what a good role player does, in that he made decisions that he knew would harm himself because it's what his character would do. He didn't metagame, basically. He actively harmed his character and the group for the sake of role playing properly. That is my life. Correct.
So this should be a quick one. For Jay, Molliver got the Vorpal sword, and then she had it to her ear and said, "Oh, Maya, you're a chatty one, aren't you?" And we never got any further than that because everything sort of snowballed. So was that sword cursed?
No. So
was
that
it,
sword is called Snicker Snack. And that sword is a two-faced little bitch, basically. That sword is basically just a Vorpal sword. The only difference is it is sentient, so it can communicate with the person wielding it. It wants nothing more than to bring death to evil, and it hates the Jabberwock. And if you miss with 3 attack rolls in a single day with that sword, it will unattune from you and become so heavy you can't wield it. It basically gets salty with you because it deems you not worthy. And when she picked it up, the sword was like, oh. The sword gave her a quick up and down and was like, I don't like you. And she was like, oh, you're a fucking chatty one, aren't you? Like, fuck off. Get out of here. Fuck you, asshole. The sword is basically just an asshole.
Got it.
Yeah, that's all.
And the next one is for each of us. So we'll start with Egg. And I know we'll miss Rennick's answer, but maybe he can comment on the YouTube video with what his favorite was. What was your favorite on-screen meme that Dante displayed during his many?
I really liked Force Ghost Egg. But there's that frog one you did ages ago as well that I really like.
Hang on, which one?
Well, we've got Force Ghost Egg and one of the frog ones because there was several. Snack, what was your fave? Well, we look at Force Ghost
I
Egg.
literally can't remember, but I remember one where we all lost our absolute shit at it, laughing. It was so funny. I can't remember what one it was. It was early on too.
There was I had 2. One was I ended up using it as a cover for one of the videos, which was the frog in clown makeup holding up the baby frog in the Lion King.
The Lion King
Lion King
one.
pose, and it was during the Bullywog
Yeah.
rotation with the tripped, and I stabbed him. That one, and then the other one was actually one of his memes. It was when he messed with his video and flipped it upside down and sideways when he was in the bubble, and he was pretending to be in the bubble.
That was the one, the bubble.
When he was Dante in a bubble, I was just, I think I had to.
Oh, that's when I turned my camera upside down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That the Lion King one was gold. There was another version of that one. I thought you had 2 different versions.
I think so. Yeah.
That was
the bubble one did me. Jay, what was? I don't know if you got to see too many of them while you're running
No,
shit.
I didn't. I usually had a thing over the top of that screen. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I saw very little of what happened, unfortunately.
That's all. But geez, that you broke me with the bubble one. I had tears. I was muted the microphone. I was, that was gold. What was your
I think,
favorite one?
Jay, you definitely saw this one, I reckon.
Yeah, that one I saw.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck those ads.
That's right, because then we had to explain to
That,
Yeah,
Dynasty
yeah, what it
who
was.
Clive
Yeah,
Palmer was.
yeah.
that was a whole like 2-month-long pain.
Oh,
Like that
Oh
was
god,
so
they were
painful.
just incessant, weren't they? Those ads.
They were constant. They were on my
I love it. They're
Instagram.
just
They were on
talking it
my
up,
like.
talking it up. Zero
I
votes. Fuck
am
off.
the most liberal person in the world. Why are you sending them to me? I'm not gonna vote for you. Sending me your ads just makes me hate you more, Clive.
I think my favorite one was not that one. I just did that one. It was this one, only because it cost us a level.
Yeah.
Oh, you fucker.
That's right.
You know,
I forgot about
we
that.
could have been level 11. I'm just saying.
That one was not my favorite.
So close. It was so close.
All right, so starting back with Egg again. Apart from AJ, Bean has already said we can't choose AJ. Who was your favorite creature or living thing that you encountered? Essentially, who was your favorite NPC apart from AJ?
Apart from AJ, like those trees.
They all had names, but I'm not digging out my notebook.
It's like Steve-O, Damo, and yeah,
the bogan trees.
Davo.
Yeah,
Oh, so good.
yeah, that's a good one. Snack, favorite NPC other than AJ?
The wedge. Was pixies.
Oh, that's a doorstop. Oh my
The
god.
doorstop, yeah. The wedge.
Fucking hell.
That was
Zen
probably my
fire?
favorite.
The Alligator King. Yeah, the Alligator King.
The king's,
You know?
yeah, the king's alligator. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
god, I had to think about the bullywogs. Yeah.
Well, he turned out to be the king in the end, didn't he? Like, when we went back, didn't he have a crown on his head? Like,
He did.
he did.
And Dynasty said he really liked the bullywog that had the I think he's trying to say the one of his plan was to trip and stab you. Yeah.
That's whose name I'm trying to look up. Like,
Guys, I don't think you.
My notebook's on
it
has been retired to
guys,
the shelf. I don't even have it.
It was a good plan, okay? Like all you have to do is you got to go in, and then he's gonna trip and stab.
Let's not. No, I'm not
That's
going down
it.
that again.
That's
That
the
was
plan.
like an hour in that cabin. Oh,
Bruh. The best
trying to
part is
talk him
in
out
my
of it.
notes, I was like, this bullywug, because like I like to keep like notes on like what NPCs think of you guys. And under that bullywug, I was like, Lord Eckleby, they're idiots. Because he's just like, what's so hard to understand, guys? I trip and then I stab.
I mean, and shout out for
Oh.
Tony. Like, you know, he played an important part.
Fucking Tony, mate.
Fucking Tony.
Fucking Tony.
I love it.
Good old
Just, Jay's
Tony.
like, you just fucking killed him.
You
He
fucking
wasn't
killed
very
him.
strong.
What are you doing?
Well, mine was Jingle Jangle. Other than AJ, Jingle
I
Jangle was my
forgot
favorite
about
character.
Jingle Jangle.
I thought Jingle Jangle was just such a beautiful soul collecting those keys. And I also turned around because I thought we were going to have to go in and either rob, steal, kill, fight Jingle Jangle when you sent the photo and the picture. I'm like, oh, okay. So I had a preconception of Jingle Jangle that was completely wrong. And so, yes,
Yeah.
I really like Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle's great.
T-Dog, T-Bone. Yeah, Tony. Tony too.
Can I have we? So there was.
So
a
what was
Queen
yours,
set-
Jay?
Mine? Oh, there were so
Other
many.
than AJ.
Oh man, there were so
Yeah.
many. I like if I had to admit, like I as a DM, I try not to have a favorite NPC. AJ's not my
Yeah.
favorite. I don't like AJ. Stop dragging monsters around with you D&D groups.
Oh,
DMs
ooh.
hate balancing parties that take monsters with them.
When those next parcels come, then you'd probably
Um,
want to ignore them. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
But
leave the
no,
box shut.
genuinely, I think my favorite character is Diana Cloppington. The
Cloppington.
the cursed centaur lady from
Way back at the carnival.
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
carnival. I love a character who is like struggling and having a really bad time, but still doing everything they can to try and help the good guys, even though it's actively hurting them. And that's her whole story. She was in the background the entire campaign covering for you guys. Like her whole thing is
Right.
like she knows all of the lore. She knows who Zablina is. She knew about Igorwiv. She knew about Tasha. She knew about the Jabberwock. She knew about the sword. But if she is to speak or say any of that information, she has these coughing fits that have her throw up like tree sap, like burning hot tree sap. And it gets that bad, it almost kills her. So she can't tell anyone this. So she just has to try and help. Like she's in constant pain. She's always miserable. I love her. She's my favorite character. But AJ is also amazing, and I will forever have a place in my heart.
All right.
So it was Snoodle the crocodile. I
Can
just
I?
found it.
Sorry, can
Snoodle.
I very
Yeah.
quickly jump in there, Spar? There was a
Yeah,
question
yeah.
further up. Did we answer it? It was just above McBean's. Who made the most questionable decision, and below for everyone, if you could replace one party member, who would you replace? It was your question. It was the favorite moment of the campaign itself and why. Did we answer that?
No, I actually moved that down to the end because I thought that'd be a good one to
Okay,
finish
yeah.
on.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Moving on then. Never mind. I didn't say anything. Shh.
And that's okay. It's fine.
I just wanted to make sure. I was like, oh, we missed that. That's the only question I've actively thought about.
Actually, no, I think we did cover it.
I
No,
think we
I-
all just
Did we?
Yeah, no, we
glossed
did.
over it
Sorry.
because you just went Rennick, surely.
Yeah, sorry. Because Egg went the Jabberwock fight. Rennick went the Jabberwock fight.
That's
No,
right.
no, we
Um,
did.
that's
There's
okay.
favorite fights and favorite moments.
Oh, maybe I
They're different
skipped. Sorry.
questions.
Yeah,
No,
Moving
Bean
on.
tells us we
Next
did.
question.
yeah, thought we did. But okay, Jay. So, what was your favorite moment of the campaign itself? And why?
I actually thought about this. It was after you guys had gotten AJ and Clapperclaw in the swamp. It was when you were on your way out of the swamp. You were having you were camping for a night, and like AJ and Clapperclaw were having a chat, and one of you wandered off and encountered some suits of armor. That if you'd stayed there long enough, eventually you would have begun to hear music, and you never did. But it was the suits of armor that copied you, because eventually, if you stayed there long enough, you would have begun to hear music and made charisma saving throws that would have had you basically dancing to Backstreet's Back with the suits of armor copying you. But that never happened. But that whole interaction of like luggage and that try to figure out like, there's a suit of armor there. It's copying me. What is this? I love that.
Zenfire, come over here.
Yeah.
That is one of the only moments I've gone back and watched multiple times of you guys being like, what the fuck is this? What
Yeah.
the fuck's this bullshit?
And he hasn't said roll initiative. What's going on? That's when I said how many are there, and you've gone 200, 300 or whatever. I went,
You're like,
what?
Oh, it was great.
Shit.
Anyway,
Well,
moving on.
yeah, no, you're right.
just-
So
yeah.
starting with Egg, what was the hardest decision you had to make? We're going to go through each of us, but what was the hardest decision you had to make?
Didn't know how to start every conversation because everyone just threw me to the front. So I'm like, hi. And Jay had basically.
Oh yeah, this party of adventurers just broke into my house, are trying to steal my things and murder me. But hey, they thrust one of them forward who just gave me a polite greeting, so I guess I'll just forgive all of that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then he got angry and told her to fuck you, and away he went. All right, Snake. Oh, sorry.
There's
yeah.
also when the Bandersnatch, like whether or not to fight it as a party or not.
Mm.
Yeah, it turned out right.
Did. All right, Snack. Hardest decision.
Which spell to use?
That's fair. I am glad you didn't nuke us. That's appreciated.
Yeah.
All right, Zenfire.
I don't know. Like, I didn't feel like I had many, really truly hard decisions to make per se. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I kind of was not the one to create initiative. I think probably the only trickiest situation was when I stupidly decided to read things backwards on the back of mirrors and portal jumped back to the Feywild and then immediately went back again, but into the fucking bubble.
Mine was actually the same. Sort of like Egg said. Was I struggled with what I thought we should do versus what I thought the character would do with leaving Egg behind to fight the Jabberwock, because I was sitting there going we really need to keep the party together here and fight this giant monster. and we've been told all along by Egg that don't split the party. And then I'm sitting there going, but in terms of how these things have played out and how we've interacted with Egg, it's really the case of it's his decision. So I had to let it be his decision and ask him what his decision was. And in all the while I'm going, fuck.
Then it's thinking this magic item says we should split up, so Jay obviously wants us to split up.
That's what I thought.
So should we split up?
No, you no. Yeah, it's okay. Well, it kind of was.
Naive past Egg.
Yeah. Oh, so for Snack from Dante, if we could put a number on how many snacks we consumed during the campaign, would it end with 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, or 0, 0, 0, 0 as she's eating a snack?
Well, are we talking about packets or individual items?
I think it's dealers,
Because
individual
then it'd
items.
be thousands.
As he's eating snacks.
Yeah, I was going to say a per biscuit count, but
there's a lot in the M&M minis.
There's the buckets of lollies. There's all sorts.
Yep.
All right. For Jay, the Alicorn wish from Lily. What went on behind the scenes? Around that wish.
Is that
Yeah.
I know you answered it after the stream, but
Um.
so do whatever version of that answer.
Basically, to start with, she can't use magic at all, ever. She's lost all magical properties she had. She is basically, for all intents and purposes, Lamorna is now just an elf. Just an elven woman.
Oh, not even a unicorn anymore. A hornless unicorn.
But she saved all your lives. She saved all the children. And she basically skipped forward a day with the assumption that you all won the fight. The problem is that means that Will is dead.
Yeah.
He's not in the space with everyone else because he wasn't a human or he wasn't an elf. He was an Oni who had been cursed to think he was a child. So he's dead, basically. So it's a dragon and the goblins all got guts. So
I liked him too.
Yeah.
We do what Spar said and just sticky tape it back on. And
Hey, what Luggage
so
said. No, Luggage was trying to come up with the items in the bag of holding, and there was this golden thread, and he'd seen someone do magic with golden thread. So these are magical beings who have lost the horn of the unicorn. So maybe it could be
a unicorn alicorn back on.
Reattached through magical purposes, the same way as he got his beautiful cloak. So there was a reason why I was asking. There was a very clear Luggage chain of thought about the reattaching of the unicorn horn with the gold thread.
It's just oh my
I didn't say sticky tape. Get sticky tape. I'll give you sticky tape. Okay. And most importantly, Jay, we need to know what happened with Tony the rabbit and he and his family and how his recovery went after he got
Rebone.
revived and healed
Amen.
in the swamp.
T
Tony the bunny, the
Wait,
T-Dog.
which-
Okay, so Tony 1 was one of the rabbit
Oh!
bandits,
You know,
Yes.
R.I.P. Tony.
and he was the
look,
one I brought back to
Tony
life
is-
as part of the
Yeah.
the
So look,
thaumaturgy check.
you guys did a number on Tony. He's gonna have to deal with some trauma
Some
because
therapy.
Tony's gonna spend a few years in counselling. He is unfortunately in assisted living. But altogether he's living a happy, full, healthy life.
It's fine. He's got NDIS funding. It's no
I'm,
problem. Don't worry about it.
I'm joking. Tony is a middle class American. He couldn't afford that shit. He's gonna die alone on the street.
he's got his wife and kids.
Bang.
We got him.
Oh, okay. In that case, he's not gonna die alone on the street. He's just gonna die on the street.
With his family in tow. Oh, Tony.
No, Tony, I'm sure was fine. I'm sure Tony went on to take over from Argden and lead them to greater victories until Zyblina took over again and basically kicked them all out of the Feywild to be like, hey, you're all cunts. Get out of here. And now they're wandering around on a different plane of existence with Tony as their intrepid leader.
Thank you. That's a much better, makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And I think I'll finish on this one. So just as a bit of a wrap up, in case we didn't quite get a chance to cover favorite moments enough, and I know Jay's mentioned his. So if you have another favorite moment, not necessarily favorite fight, but favorite moment of the campaign, Jay gave us, his with the what was the one you said? No, the favorite fight was the fear. Your favorite moment was the suits of armor.
Suits of armor.
Yeah. So favorite moment, even if you've already covered one, what else really stuck out? And we'll finish on this
Do you
question.
remember that episode where we just all lost our shit the entire episode?
I do. I don't remember which one that was. Was that wasn't the Babylon one with the bubble fight because the frog memes were in that episode as well.
Because
There
we
were a
just
few
kept
frog memes.
laughing, man. And that Egg lost his shit as well. It started with Egg. Something happened with Egg, which set off a chain reaction, and we all just lost our shit the entire
Because we
episode.
had this one, and
Yeah. Yes.
and then we had this one.
I forgot about that one.
But yeah,
I
there was
don't-
just like the entire episode that we all just lost our shit. We couldn't.
Mm.
I think it was literally 5 minutes of gameplay. The rest was just pure laughter.
Was it the
That happened.
trees?
I
don't
think
think
it
it
was
was
the
the trees.
trees.
Yeah,
don't
it's got to be the
reckon?
trees.
No,
Or
because you
Because
guys
I
weren't with the
thought
trees for
the
that long.
bullywugs.
No, true.
It was only a quick chat with the trees.
You stayed with
No,
the
I was
Bullywugs
trying to
bullywugs
work it
for a
out in
while.
Discord, but
I mean, Bean, that's pretty fair. We did pretty much lose our shit like
every
several
episode.
times. Most episode.
yeah, but this one, like, I was literally crying this episode.
Oh, which one?
Yeah, I remember. I had tears of laughter at one point, at several
Yeah.
points. But I remember what you took. I just don't remember the.
Was it AJ? I remember you guys losing your fucking minds the moment I opened my mouth.
I mean,
You guys-
fair. Come
You
on.
heard the voice and I was like, yeah, we're done. That's us.
Yeah.
I can't remember,
And
but I
then,
know
yeah,
it was
when I
like
first-
absolute chaos.
Because
I
like
first
he,
heard how you did tags as well, like, and how they talked.
Oh, when you came in hot, you were dropping C bombs and.
yeah,
Ah! Like,
Yes!
it just went from 0 to just
Oh.
up 10,000. It was just like, whoa. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't, well, if we find it, link it in the, if someone finds that episode, link it in the Discord or chuck a comment. What else in terms of favorite moment? Like AJ coming out of the well was one of my favorite moments.
Oh,
As
he
soon
was-
as you opened your mouth and
he was
started
so
talking
angry.
like the.
that whole thing of him being like, "This is my fucking home. What are you doing?" Like,
But I thought we were walking into a fight with a gelatinous cube and going, oh shit, this doesn't seem like a good time, especially when you're describing the dimensions when he came out. Like, oh fuck. And then he spoke. Oh, Bean's just gone as a viewer. My favorite moment was entering chat at the wrong time and immediately leaving because I was not prepared to listen to whatever nonsense you were talking about. That seems fair.
I am offended. Bean,
That seems fair.
as
and
someone I
reasonable.
hope will one day join a D&D campaign, hurt.
we just got to keep working on her.
We'll get her there.
Yeah. There were so many though. There was
Oh,
so many good
Good.
points in that 21 episodes.
Stone Snack was quite humorous.
Stone Snack was good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
And
that
then
was good.
like Stoned Albert was even funnier. Custom Damage was quite good.
Cast of Damage was really good.
I still can't go past Naked Goblin. Like
I
greased
gotta
up
say,
wrestling.
as
That
much
was
as I know
funny.
I'm gonna get hate for this from certain people in this group, I like one of my favorite moments has got to be killing AJ. Just for the
Come on,
sheer
man,
reaction I got,
no.
like, no, just because it was like
You
you
could
were
have killed
all
like
so,
any one of us, and we would have been like, "Oh yeah, cool."
Oh,
But
yeah,
no,
that's
you went
right.
for AJ.
you were all both simultaneously so happy that he was there and so worried about him that you were like, "Oh, AJ saved the day." And the moment I said you see like bones and that in AJ resurfacing, but you see no AJ, watching all of your faces just drop
What?
as you all realized, "Oh, he's gonna kill him." Yeah, that was good. That was great.
That was
mean-
not good.
Some of my
Almost
favorite moments
making-
were definitely like at the end of every episode when Jay would just look up and go, "And you're gonna fucking die next
Yeah.
episode," and just
You-
random bits like that.
Yeah, you give us your version of the Dread
Oh,
Pirate
Rick,
Roberts
I'm gonna
every
fucking kill
episode.
you. Like,
It's like, rest well. I'm most likely to kill you in the morning.
no, the Jay rant about the metric system was fucking gold.
Oh my fucking
That was
god!
good. And reasonable.
I mean, fair.
Oh my god, who remembers the episode where Spar got drunk?
Oh, I remember. Well,
Oh,
I remember the
damn.
video.
Oh,
That's when we kept trying to use the same spell over and over again.
I-
You know, old one slot.
I
I
was
remember-
like going back in the Discord
remember
to try
watching
and
it.
find that
No,
video, and I found that
But what if
instead.
I then cast this?
I don't know what it
And then
says about
this.
some of my other players, but when like Spar, when you were so adamantly apologizing after that episode, my first thought was, you weren't that bad, were you? And then I rewatched it and I was like,
Really was.
oh, he was. I was just so caught up in doing combat stuff, I didn't notice.
No,
I
I think
was.
I wonder if that was the episode where we were all losing our shit because we were just laughing so hard.
No, you probably were, but the one that Snack was talking about, I was cognizant and present.
You
for.
remember that episode then, is what you're trying to
It was
say.
the Honey I'm Home episode.
Well, that's AJ. That was AJ coming out of the well. Was the Honey I'm Home?
14 minutes in, and it's the one where Zenfire is literally upside down.
Oh, okay, right.
Bubble.
Because you've got AJ, you've got Zenfire being upside down, you've got Bavlorna just using every expletive in the book to just tell you guys to fuck off.
Yeah.
You've got Egg just losing his mind at her for the first time. Everything went great. You have Reddick having the shit kicked out of him by a cat briefly.
Oh, when you had
Didn't I get stabbed under the stairs?
yes,
the mushroom,
Yep.
the
little mushroom just shanking you.
instead of flying up to the roof, you were hiding at ground level and went, and that drove Egg mental.
So much chaos.
And then the next fight, she just charged in with her longsword.
Yeah.
Well, running away didn't work.
Oh,
Rennick getting naked mid-fight and then calling his like goblin army to him was
yeah,
pretty fucking
pushing
funny.
his chest up against the glass.
Come
I remember
me!
my goblin friends.
It's just like this solid Ace Ventura moment. Really. But naked and in goblin.
Very fun. Very fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note,
Yeah, we were literally 15 minutes in the episode, and all pure chaos just kicked off.